Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Merrimack High School for the Tomahawks' final home dual meet of the season. Tonight, on behalf of head coach Brian Dine and assistant coaches Zach Hicks, Eric Terrio, and Dom D'Amata, we celebrate our seniors and their families. First, in acknowledgement of these seniors from the visiting Portsmouth Clippers, let's have a round of applause for Logan Chassie, Alex Sikora, Cullen Dennett, and Mike Sherburne. And now for your Merrimack Tomahawks. Please welcome senior Kalia Uwaje, accompanied by assistant coaches Eric Terrio and Dom D'Amata. Kalia never imagined she'd return to the team this way, but she's grateful for the opportunity to come back as a team manager for her senior year. She wants to thank all of the coaches for welcoming her back with open arms and for all the support and guidance they've provided. To her teammates, she thanks you for making this experience so memorable and for allowing her to still be part of this amazing team. Kalia has decided to attend the University of New Hampshire to study marketing with plans to eventually pursue a career in real estate. While she may not be on the mat anymore, she will always carry the lessons and friendships from this team with her. Please welcome senior Leanie Haddad, accompanied by her parents, Justin and Dina, and her siblings, Ben, Jay, and Heather. This is Leanie's second year wrestling, and she's grateful to her coaches, teammates, friends, and family for helping her to get where she is today. Leanie will be attending the University of New Hampshire in the fall, studying animal sciences. After graduating from UNH, she will continue her postgraduate education, studying to be a veterinarian. Please welcome senior captain Avery Berardinelli, accompanied by her mother, Sherry Dimitri, and her father, Dave Berardinelli. Avery, always an incredibly ambitious person, initially shocked her mother with her decision to join the team. Avery quickly fell in love with the sport and became a key recruiter of other female wrestlers. Avery began her wrestling journey at 132 pounds, and through her workouts with the Tomahawks at Doughboy and Agoge, she has made her way to 120 pounds this season. A dual sport athlete, Avery balances both swimming and wrestling, never sacrificing one for the other. Avery has found amazing friends and camaraderie on her team and had such wonderful mentors in her coaches. They've made such an impact on her life and sport. Avery's mother would like her to know that her dedication and determination truly inspires her. She can't tell her enough how proud she is, how much he loves her, and how grateful she is to be Avery's mom. Avery will be attending St. Anselm College, majoring in health sciences, with the goal of pursuing a career as an EMT. Please welcome senior captain Connor Sabal, accompanied by his parents, Ron and Amanda Sabal, his sister Autumn, and his brother Owen. With an impressive 4-year involvement in the wrestling community, Connor has showcased his passion for the sport since he was first introduced as a freshman at Merrimack High School. Connor would like to express his gratitude to all of his family, friends, and coaches who have supported him throughout his wrestling journey. Connor's most cherished memory on the mat was placing third at the Division II state championships as a sophomore. Following graduation, Connor will be attending the Nashua Community College to study criminal justice. Ladies and gentlemen, please join in a round of applause for our senior wrestlers, their parents, and coaches. On behalf of the Merrimack Tomahawks Booster Club, I'd like to congratulate all wrestlers, parents, and coaches, as well as our sponsors, Buckley's Disposal, NJB Landscaping, Bailey's Towing, DW Diner, Merrimack Smiles, Domino's, the Merrimack House of Pizza, Mark's Pizza and Subs, Condi Roofing, and Ben Boskowski. Round of applause for all our teams.
Well, good evening and welcome to tonight's wrestling meet, the Merrimack Tomahawks versus the Portsmouth Clippers. We're here at the H. Dana Taylor Gymnasium on senior night. Just heard from Aaron McAloon, who will be joining us momentarily to call this meet for us. We believe we'll have some replays back at Town Hall thanks to Grace LeMay, the media assistant for Merrimack TV. We do have a couple other meetings going on tonight, so the replays may be a little short-lived. And I'm going to let the coach speak for a little bit. All right, and it seems like we might be getting right into wrestling. Like I said before, we'll try and have some replays for you, but we do have 2 more meetings back at Town Hall. So we have the Town Council, which you'll be able to find. They're wrapping up their budget meeting stuff. And we got Zoning Board, which we're recording tonight. So if you're looking for a live feed, that will actually just be recorded and available on the Merrimack TV app tomorrow morning. So, Aaron McAloon in the house, calling another meet here for us.
Yeah, thanks, Justin. Pulling a little double duty tonight with the emceeing of senior night. So
great job with that, by the way.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to acknowledge the seniors that have put in the time and effort for 4 years. So that's always nice to see. Looks like we're going to start with 4 JV matches tonight. First one's going to take place at 126 pounds between Brandon Gendron of the Tomahawks. And this is, let's see, I've got the last name here. Judah D'Antonio for the Portsmouth Clippers. So getting some action in here tonight for our own Brandon Gendron, who has spent a fair amount of time lately in our varsity lineup. Been shaking things up a little bit this past weekend out in Lebanon. Brandon got some time with Owen Sabal being pushed up to 132 pounds, so been getting into a lot of action, and continues tonight with the first match of the night. So both wrestlers here in the center doing a little hand fighting. See lots of head-to-head and ear-to-ear, somewhat rare for the lighter weights. Oh, looks like we got a little head and arm here. And I think that's going to be potentially dangerous. An illegal hold against Brandon Gendron. When he locked up that headlock, it's required that you have an arm. You can't have nothing but the head. It becomes more of a chokehold situation. So here in Scholastic Wrestling, you're required to have an arm mixed in there. So
yeah, a little bit safer that way.
Yeah, 100%. Don't want anybody get. It's not UFC. See a takedown there for Judah D'Antonio of the Clippers, and he leads 3-1. See some good hip action there. And another illegal hold, this time against Antonio Portsmouth for a full Nelson. So only allowed to put one back there. It's, I think,
half Nelson only?
Half Nelson only. You can go 3/4 Nelson, but you cannot go full. It's not the WWE or WWF or whatever. I don't think I've ever had UFC and WWF references in the span of 20 seconds doing these broadcasts, but
It's always a first for everything here.
And another technical violation, this time for locking hands against the Clippers.
Oh, boy.
And I think we've got a score error. I think they attributed that last illegal hold to Merrimack, and it should have been Portsmouth. I believe we're actually 3-3, and another locking hands hold being called here by referee Rick Ross. So Brandon Gendron in no danger here. The Portsmouth wrestler cannot score because of that locking hands. Rick Ross, the official, is just going to allow Brandon Gendron the opportunity to score on his own accord, and he's able to do that. So he gets the 2-point reversal, plus he gets the 1-point technical violation, so 3 points there. Now leads 5-4 on the scoreboard. I believe this is actually a 6-3 duel. Little kind of Peterson roll there for the Portsmouth wrestler. He now leads 6-5 on the scoreboard, but I think we're going to see an adjustment made here.
Yeah, it looks like
And I
coach is
see
coming
head
over.
coach. Yeah, I see head coach Brian Dine coming to the table. I'm not sure he sees it. Yeah, I'm nearly certain that second illegal hold that went against Portsmouth actually was attributed to the tomahawk. But we continue wrestling here, starting the sixth period with D'Antonio of Portsmouth leading 6-5 over Brandon Gendron of the Tomahawks. D'Antonio trying to run that half Nelson. And again,
Wow.
another illegal hold there. So this is where I think the discrepancy comes in. I hear Coach Dine saying, hey, wait, that's the third one, but I don't think we corrected the first one there in the first period that should have actually corrected the score as well.
Is it getting fixed right now, you think?
I think we're going to get it corrected, but the score should also change if they attribute it the correct way. And so with the third illegal hold, that's 2 points. If the Portsmouth wrestler commits another technical violation like that, then it would result in a disqualification. So he's got to be careful here. Gendron of Merrimack currently leading 7-6, a minute 30 to go in the second period. Had a slew of illegal hold calls and potentially dangerous calls, really going both directions in this match. So a little ugly, but on we go with Gendron getting the 1 point escape. Now leads 8-6, approaching 1 minute to go in the second period. Both wrestlers doing a nice job kind of wrestling in the phone booth right in the center of the mat, looking for an opportunity to score, both wrestling very heavy on the head. Whole idea here is to try to manipulate and move your opponent into a position of advantage so you can take advantage. Gendron in on a single leg. Gendron's really got to try to circle to that single leg attempt. We've got a little bit of a scramble, and Gendron able to come out on top, get the 3 point takedown, and now leads 11-6. And now looking for back points. I see referee Rick Ross counting those back points. He's now holding 4. And Gendron gets the fall. Nice way to start for the Tomahawks.
Absolutely great match right there.
Nice little back and forth with some younger wrestlers. I see this next JV match, I believe, is going to be wrestled at 100 and I'm going to say about 138 pounds. With the JV matches, you get a little bit more flexibility with, where these kids weighed in. So for the Tomahawks, this is Mason Karen. And for the Clippers, this is Suarez, Aiden Suarez. So right away I see Mason Karen in with a double leg attempt. Looks like he's not going to be successful. He's a little flat. He's got to work on getting his hips back under him. Try to come up with that takedown. I think I see his left hand controlling the elbow, which is a good sign. Now he's able to get kind of his hips under him. He's got to get that right foot off the floor. Not able to do it. Starting to get flattened out. You can see the sort of give and take here. Aiden Suarez of the Clippers really trying to sprawl hard, keep all that weight on the head and shoulders of Mason Karen. Able to get him flattened out and circle around and get the takedown of his own. So Suarez of Portsmouth leads 3-0. Karen now going to try to get his base. Looks like Suarez is very high. Mason Karen looking to take advantage and executes the sit and switch there. Able to get 2 points of his own. And now Suarez trying to get an escape or a reversal of his own. On and around and around and around we go. And Suarez able to complete a reversal. Now leads 5-2 over Mason Karen of Merrimack. About 30 seconds to go here in the first period. Looks like Suarez trying to get the legs in, unsuccessful. Karen's got to try to work on the bottom here to get his head up. Try to get your head off the mat. Start building your hips under you. Try to clear your hips from the opponent and get some space. You can see he's able to clear his hips there.
Wow.
Get a little bit of space, but still flattened out. He's got to try to get his right ear to the hip here of Suarez with his hips under him and really circle hard to the leg that he's holding if he's going to complete it. Looked like he was on his way, but ran out of time there in the end of the first period.
I totally lost track of time on that one. A lot of action.
High action there in the first period with these lower weight wrestlers. I think both these kids, I think one of them weighed in 130, the other's like 134 pounds, so the lighter weight. So Mason Karen leads, or excuse me, it's actually Suarez that's leading 5-2 here to start the second period. Mason Karen was on top to start the period, and it looks like Suarez is trying to circle around to get this reversal, and he's able to do it. So Suarez now leads 7-2. Looks like Mason Karen's working on the hands underneath there, trying to break Suarez's hands a little bit. I see Karen, Mason Karen's doing a fairly good job here. He's able to get his head up. He's creating some separation with his hips. I think the key for him would be if he could string a few of those things together. Being on the bottom and escaping from the bottom is really all about stringing moves together, having a lot of motion. You're in a position of disadvantage, and sometimes you just have to be the one that digs deeper, and you got to make that top wrestler really work to maintain the control. I see an attempt here at a near side cradle by Suarez. He's putting his head right into the ribs of Karen, trying to collect that near leg and his head. You see Karen sort of grimacing here, fighting this hold, trying to fight the hands. Suarez not quite able to do it. Nice job by Karen there to try to get the arm to the other side of his head. He's looking away from this. Really like to see Karen take that left leg and try to post his knee up, get up to his knees, post that left leg, hook that right leg, and start turning his hips. Not quite able to get there. Looks like we might be back into another near side cradle situation. And it looks like he's got it locked up. I see Karen, he's in there fighting the hands, able to fight him off. So limits the damage there, and another period kind of burned away very quickly. So it looks like we have Portsmouth choice here to start the third period. They've chosen to go neutral. So we've got Suarez leading 7-2 to start the third period over Karen of Merrimack. Karen's got to be careful. The referees don't want to see you backpedaling like that, so you'll hear the coaches constantly saying we've either got to be moving forward or circling. Mason Karen again in on that single leg. He's just getting a little bit stretched out on those shot attempts, not able to keep the hips under him, and it has cost him a couple of times there, and now I see a 3-point takedown being awarded to Souza of Portsmouth, who now leads 10-2 with 1:20 to go in the third period. That was very close to locking hands. Mason Karen close there to a reversal, not able to get it. (10-2) score, but certainly pretty competitive, pretty back and forth match. The eye test tells me a bit of a different story than maybe the 10-2 that's on the scoreboard here.
Yeah, totally agree.
Clearly Souza from Portsmouth has gotten the better of the exchanges, but it certainly hasn't been by as wide a margin as maybe the score indicates. I see a stalling warning there against the Merrimack wrestler, but he's able to execute a reversal immediately following that. Tightens the score up to 10-4 with 30 seconds to go. With this kind of short time, Karen's really only path to victory is to try to get the fall. And you can see he made an attempt there, didn't work out. And Souza from Portsmouth able to get another reversal, now leads 12-4 with 10 seconds to go in the third period. Karen not giving in, still trying to find an opportunity to collect his own reversal. Looks like he's not going to be able to do that as time expires here in the third, with Aiden Suarez of Portsmouth picking up the victory in our second JV bout. Our third JV bout could be a little bit of an interesting one for us. This is our varsity junior captain, Landon Schultz, coming out to wrestle for the Tomahawks. So interesting to see him out here in one of these matches. I think probably just looking to, if I had to guess, the Portsmouth Clippers probably don't have anybody to send out tonight at 138 pounds on the varsity side. So Merrimack coach is going to make sure that their varsity wrestler gets a bout tonight regardless. Looks like he's going to be out there against Nicholas Souza, a 138-pound wrestler from the Portsmouth Clippers. See both wrestlers again, kind of wrestling right there in the center of the cylinder. Looked like a little aborted fireman's carry attempt there by Schultz. Schultz doing a nice job there. Gets that little dump, controlled the wrist, got the dump, and collects the 3-point takedown. I see him now riding that tight waist and ankle. Got to be careful. Looked like for a second he almost locked hands there, but thought better of it and adjusts his position. Schultz now looking for an outside cradle. Not able to secure that. Nice mat return. As we always say, if you're going to lift a wrestler, it is your responsibility to safely return them to the mat. Schultz able to do that. I see Schultz kind of whizzering here. He steps over and now has Sousa in trouble. I see referee Rick Ross holding 3 back points. Now Schultz looking to see if he can get the fall. Unable to do that. He releases the hold and is awarded those 3 back points. And now another attempt, this time with a half Nelson. Looks like he's switching to the front. Able to lift the head and get the fall. Another victory there for our junior captain, Landon Schultz, in a JV bout at 138 pounds. And for our final JV bout of the night, I see freshman, this is Leland Eaton coming out. Leland typically wrestling around 190 pounds. Looks like he weighed in tonight at 184. He's going to be wrestling against, I believe this is Ethan Hubbard from the, just trying to find it on their weigh-in sheet. Yeah, I believe this is Ethan Hubbard for the Portsmouth Clippers. Looks like there's a bit of a weight disparity here from what I see on the weigh-in sheets. And I think that certainly played out in a very quick bout where Leland Eaton is able to get the takedown and an immediate win by fall. So I think that's going to conclude our JV bouts. So I expect to see the captains come to the center here prior to the beginning of our varsity duel. So I see I see senior captain Connor Sabal, senior captain Avery Berardinelli, who were recognized earlier during senior night. And I see our junior captain Landon Schultz, who just got a win of his own already tonight in the JV match, in the circle with our head official Rick Ross. Go through the coin flip rituals, see which team has to send out first. So green chooses even-numbered matches, which means we'll be sending out wrestlers in the even-numbered bouts first. We have to present first. Referee Rick Ross, also the president of the New Hampshire Wrestling Officials Association, been a presence in New Hampshire wrestling for, if he hears this, he might shake his head at me. It's got to be 30, maybe 40 years.
I was going to say it while the music's playing. So.
Yeah, it's a long time. Rick was a long-time president of the Middle School Wrestling Association. He spent a ton of time supporting the Manchester YMCA program. Looks like at 106 pounds, the Tomahawks are going to collect a forfeit victory for senior Leanie Haddad. So maybe not the type of victory she wanted, but nevertheless, a victory on senior night, something to remember.
And I do, while we're talking about the official here, just want to thank the officials. All these sports just absolutely cannot happen without officials. And if anyone has any interest in officiating or just thinking about it, head on over to NHIAA.org and check that out, please.
So that looked like, I think that's sophomore Luke Polizzo from the Clippers, who came out at 113. Merrimack didn't have a wrestler. So we have exchanged forfeits, and we will come into 120 pounds at a 6-6 tie here in the match score. So I see coming out for the Tomahawks is senior captain Avery Berardinelli. For the Clippers, I believe this is Carter Kuhn. Carter Kuhn, I don't even know what to say. I mean, this is a wrestler that's already collected more than 40 wins this season.
Wow.
For the Clippers. Absolutely. Probably. I can't think of a wrestler at 122 pounds in Division II that I would say is more of a favorite than he is to win Division II. And frankly, certainly among the top 2 or 3 names I can think of to win Meet of Champions. I fully expect that he'd be in a position to represent New Hampshire at the New England Championships. Just an insanely impressive resume for junior Carter Kuhn. So Avery's got her hands full for sure.
Certainly.
Carter Kuhn in immediately on another takedown. His second of the bout, plus 4 back points. And just like that, in under a minute, now leads 10-2 as Avery able to get an escape. Avery still wrestling aggressive, trying to get in on the leg. Carter Kuhn proving to be just a little too much. Now leads 13-2. Looking to collect back points. Unable to do so, as referee Rick Ross determined they have gone out of bounds. So we reset here at the center. Kuhn of Portsmouth leading 13-2 with 46 seconds to go in the first period. Kuhn will start on top here at this restart. Immediately very tight on the waist, trying to chop the arm. I see him trying to collect a wing. Looks like he's got her left arm. Might even have the right wrist as well. Now trying to drag that arm across her back, collects the wing. Looked like he was trying to circle to the head there. Avery able to kind of fight that one off. A little cross-body ride now for Carter Kuhn. Going to kind of collect that arm, maybe see if he can get another turn here in short time. 10 seconds to go in the first period. You can see there, that's that kind of 3/4 Nelson attempt that we were talking about earlier. Not able to kind of get her to her shoulders. And we will go to the second period with Carter Kuhn of Portsmouth leading 13-2 over senior Avery Berardinelli of the Tomahawks. Looked like the coaches maybe wanted Avery to go neutral, and Avery wasn't having it. She wants to go down, maybe try to prove the point that she can escape here. So we'll see how this plays out. See Avery immediately on the whistle, getting up into that tripod position. Kuhn looks like he's got a 2-on-1 and is now collecting near fall points. That looks like 4, which should end the bout here unless he's able to get the fall. And it looks like he's trying to get in a position to do that. What he's going to try to do here is scoop the head, probably drive that chin into Avery's shoulder to complete this fall to get the extra team point. He's really looking for that 6th team point with the fall as opposed to the 5 for the tech fall, which he's already got secured. We cannot win this bout, and he's able to collect the fall. So I don't see it on our scoreboard tonight, but I believe that's going to make the match score 12-6.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even notice that.
That should make the match score 12-6 in favor of Portsmouth. Looks like we've now moved to 126 pounds, where I see Owen Sabal for the Tomahawks. And I believe this is going to be Logan Chassie for the Portsmouth Clippers. Logan's a senior, very solid wrestler. Has wrestled 4 years of high school, always been a really competitive wrestler. Not sure what we'll see out of Chassie in the postseason, but certainly a nice test for Owen Sabal. I had this one sort of start as a potential bout of the night candidate, so we'll see if that plays out. Both wrestlers kind of wrestling heavy here. Lots of wrist control. I see Chassie in there. Looks like he's got a Russian tie there briefly. Again, lots of ear-to-ear, head-to-head wrestling in the phone booth here. Looking for small chinks in the armor opportunities to try to make adjustments and score. Try to manipulate the movements of your opponent. Try to force them to go the places you want them to go so that you can find opportunities to score. Both wrestlers really working hard to try to exert their will. Little sweep single attempt by Chassie, unsuccessful. You can see him really yanking Owen Sabal in, kind of overhook position there. Really working hard, trying to move Owen around. Owen doing a nice job kind of controlling the wrists and preventing some of those opportunities. Sabal able to get in on a leg there. He's collected the head and the leg. Like to see him stuff the head, kind of block that arm, and see if he can circle around. Owen likes to throw by, and you see him execute it right there. You'll see him where he starts to spin the wrestler one direction. He gets the wrestler moving that direction, and then literally uses their own head, almost like when you're throwing a bowling ball, to try to whip them the opposite direction and spin behind. Now he's collected the wrist and is trying to get back points. If he was able to step over here with his right foot, he's got to step that other leg over as well and sit to his butt. He might be able to finish this. And I think we've got blood time. So I think the 4 full back points are going to be awarded there. And now a stoppage for blood. Anybody that's watched any wrestling or any of our broadcasts has probably heard us talk about how common these types of things are with blood time.
Yeah, absolutely. And as they get them cleaned up, I just want to ask, if you're enjoying the meet, you can always check out more MHS sports action by downloading the Merrimack TV app. Merrimack TV is a free download from your device's app store. Download Merrimack TV on your iPhone, Android, Roku, Apple TV, or Amazon Fire device to watch live varsity sports, concerts, meetings, events, and other on-demand content. You're watching Merrimack TV, your community, your voice.
It's a great app. I love that app.
It's so good.
I didn't.
I'll
I'll be
top
honest,
3 apps on my phone.
Until I started, working some of the broadcasts last year, I did not know that it existed. I've got it downloaded on my phone. I've got it downloaded on my iPad. I've got it through Roku on my TV.
That's awesome.
My parents like to watch my son, Kale, who's on the team. They don't have to drive up to Merrimack to see him. They can kind of sit at home and watch it live. So great for our family for sure.
Absolutely.
So it looks like we're going to restart here the first period. We've got 5 seconds to go, so short time here. Sabal leads 7-0. Just try to give, don't give anything up in short time. Here is the goal. And he's successful in doing that, so we will head to the second with Sabal leading 7-0 over Chassie of Portsmouth. And looks like, I think Portsmouth chose neutral there. Chassie immediately in on a single leg attempt, not able to complete it. Back into the phone booth we go here, right in the center. Can hear some of the coaching from head coach Brian Dine, asking his wrestler to improve position, try to go from outside tie to inside tie. Now it looks like Chassie's kind of secured that front headlock. See what he's going to try to do with it, and it looks like Owen's able to get his head clear. Now back to fighting for position. Lots of hand fighting happening here in the center. You got 2 very strong athletic wrestlers. both trying to exert their will, and sometimes that results in a number of stalemate situations. But, Sabal looked like he was in deep on that single leg, but kind of lost it as he tried to lift the leg to put it on the shelf. Back to the center, head-to-head, ear-to-ear, wrestling in the phone booth we go. Nope. Able again to secure that single leg. And there's the three-point takedown again for Owen Sabal, who now leads 10-0. I think we've talked a number of times this year as well about this change this year with this new three-point takedown. It certainly has changed the way some of the matches look. How quickly match scores can seemingly get out of hand when maybe there's a skill variance between the two wrestlers. But I'll tell you the other thing that I've seen is, as quick as you can get down, if you're able to get it turned around, you can also come back from pretty large deficits that in years past it was very hard to do. So looks like we've got some more blood time here. Not uncommon once the nose starts to bleed, whatever it is, the plug falls out, and we're constantly kind of making changes or making adjustments to the plugs and having to clean up. I see Portsmouth Clippers head coach Randy Whistler out there pulling double duty as kind of a biohazard guy and wrestling coach. So Randy Whistler,
wearing many hats.
He's a great guy too. Him and the Josies out there in Portsmouth started the Portsmouth Youth Program a few years ago. So known Randy for a little while, and then kind of starting a heck of a program out there at Portsmouth, or maybe resurrecting the program might be better stated. So just good guy, good coach. Always has his teams well prepared. So we have restarted here. 15 seconds to go in the second period with Owen Sabal leading 10-0 and in control on top. Chassis doing a nice job of chain wrestling on the bottom there. Not quite able to escape, but certainly working hard. No danger here of any kind of stall or anything like that. Clearly showing the referee that he's working and trying to improve position. Looks like Owen Sabal has chosen to stay neutral to start the third period, leading 10-0. Looking to pile on some of these points. Sabal really heavy on the head there. I think, again, if he can stuff that head and block the arm and maybe try to spin behind. Ooh, looked like he tried to go for a trip there. He's able to get back to that single leg position, that kind of high crotch. Looks like he's now getting by the ankle. Switches to a double and able to complete it for another three-point takedown, and now leads 13-0 with 1:30 to go. Be interesting what the strategy is now for Owen Sabal and the Tomahawks coaches. Do you maybe cut him, go for another takedown, and get the tech fall, or do you look for the extra point? I see a reversal there now in favor of the Clippers. So it's now 13-2. Little mule kick there. Sabal able to escape, now 14-2. So a takedown here by Sabal will end the match via technical fall if he's able to get it, with 1 minute to go here in the third period.
I feel like Sabal just hasn't been super close to a fall quite yet.
Yeah, it's again, it's one of those bouts that at 14-2, on paper, and there's the takedown that secures the tech fall victory. That was another one, sort of like one of the JV matches we saw that on paper seemed lopsided, but the eye test sort of tells a different story. Much more competitive than the final result.
Yeah, and as far as starring that one as a bout of the night, I'd say that so far has probably lived up to that expectation. That was a great bout right there.
So looks like now coming out at, first looks like we got a little mat maintenance again. Portsmouth wrestler again kind of sprung a leak. So while they tend to him, we're going to get this mat cleaned up before we move to 132 pounds, where I see Connor Sabal, which I'm a little surprised to see him. He's been battling this knee injury all season, kind of been in and out of the lineup, wasn't able to go this weekend or Monday night in the two duels Monday night, but maybe a little extra motivation to get that knee right to be able to come out here on senior night and get a match. So I think this is going to be a very, very interesting bout. I didn't think that we were going to see Connor tonight, so I didn't have this one necessarily starred. But this Portsmouth wrestler is another just excellent wrestler, AJ Craig. I think his only in-state losses this year are to arguably the top 3 kids in the state at 132 pounds, with Bordelot, Walton, and Algio. I think he's already amassed close to 30 wins this season, so excellent wrestler for the Clippers. So an unexpected match here, because I didn't think we were going to have Connor in the lineup tonight, but should be an interesting, very competitive bout here as well. So already lots of action here, just 30 seconds into the first period. Kind of a replica of what we've seen, a lot of hand fighting and wrestling in the center. I see AJ Craig able to collect the takedown there. Looks like almost a double leg, but more of ankle pick than traditional double leg takedown there. So either way, results in a 3-0 lead for AJ Craig of Portsmouth. Little crackdown attempt there for Connor Sabal. He kind of had that quick reach back attempt. And if you're going to do that and it doesn't work, you better be prepared to get back to your belly, which he was able to do. So no harm done there on that reach back. And I think we've got a problem with the brace. It looks like the brace came loose, so referee Rick Ross asking for an adjustment to be made there to tighten that thing up. Don't want any hands, fingers, necks, etc. getting caught up in any of these straps. Both wrestlers looks like wearing identical shoulder straps, so both obviously dealing with some sensitivity to some of those things. Awkward position there for the arm by Sabal, but able to kind of get back to his base and not give anything up. Looked like a brief 1 count. Still no back points being awarded here. Sabal able to defend. Looks like got a little Navy ride here for AJ Craig. And I see again that brace has sort of come loose and become a problem again. Sabal fighting hard, trying not to give up near fall points here as we move towards short time. 20 seconds to go in the first period. I think referee Rick Ross has had a 1 count 3 or 4 times in this exchange. And as we kind of get back to a non-danger position, I think Connor's just going to get rid of that brace and say, let's go. We don't need it. It's getting in the way. I'll deal with it. I have a feeling there's a little extra adrenaline here on senior night for Connor Sabal. We're not going to worry about how the shoulder feels. We're not going to worry about how the knee feels.
Right.
I just want to get out there and go on senior night. So first period winding down, under 5 seconds to go, with AJ Craig of Portsmouth leading 3-0 over senior captain Connor Sabal of the Tomahawks. So Red's choice, and Red chooses to go down here to start the second period. So the thinking here for Portsmouth is we're either going to try to get the quick escape or look for a quick reversal. Be up to Connor Sabal to prevent that from happening and try to ride out AJ Craig. Tall task for sure with a wrestler of Craig's caliber. Looks like we're into a little cross-body ride here for Sabal. Almost a spladle position, but not able to fully execute it. I think he's got both legs in now, so he's really trying to drive the hips in and flatten them out. He was able to, AJ Craig able to reach back.
Wow.
And pull Sabal over.
And he does not look like he's feeling so hot right now.
And got the fall, but yeah, that's a tough one. Looks like that's a tough one. So not the result Connor Sabal was looking for, but great to see him out there on senior night nonetheless. I believe that's going to bring, I am certain that the match score that's on the scoreboard is not correct. I've got it as 18-11
I'd say that's
in favor of the Portsmouth
probably
Clippers.
A little bit closer.
At 138 pounds, we've sent out our junior captain, Landon Schultz. He collects the forfeit, which should move the duel to 18-17 in favor of the Clippers. And we move to 144 pounds, where the Tomahawks send out sophomore Cale McAloon. And I anticipate the Clippers send out freshman Steven Whistler. Whistler, another of these sort of run of wrestlers for Portsmouth. He's the son of head coach Randy Whistler, bordering on elite for a freshman. I think his only in-state losses are to Campbell of Goffstown and Jaden Deal of Spalding, which is quite an impressive resume. And I think as a freshman, he's already racked up 25 wins this season. So
that's incredible.
Tall task here for McAloon of the Tomahawks. Full disclosure, Kale is my son, so we'll see. Just hoping for some semblance of a competitive bout, but we'll see how things play out. So both wrestlers tying up. McAloon in on that single. He's got to try to work to circle to that thing. Whistler fighting it hard. Looks like a little danger position there briefly. And looks like Whistler might have the cradle locked up.
Oh, wow.
And McAloon able to kind of fight it off. Little scramble. And now we're back to this sort of inside cradle position. Kind of a wild scramble happening here. Whistler does lead 3-0, and now looks like he's going to lock it up. That was just I don't even know exactly how that sequence went. That was just kind of a crazy, wild scramble, but Whistler able to secure the win by fall. Probably not a shocking result given
given the resume
his
you just
resume.
listed off, yes.
But the way it happened was a little frenetic, not quite the way I envisioned it happening for sure. So it looks like Portsmouth collects another 6 points there, so I've now got it as about 24-17, I believe, in favor of the Clippers as we move to 150 pounds, where I see Justin Foss coming out for the Tomahawks. And I believe this is Mikey Shorthill, Jr., for the Clippers. A little bit of a mixed bag. Definitely got some wins, probably 500, maybe a little better than 500 on the season for Mikey Shorthill. So about the same resume as Justin Foss. So should be a fairly competitive bout here at 150 pounds.
Foss already fiddling with that headgear a few times.
We've had it. I think. The last broadcast, it was like an epidemic of headgear stuff. And this past weekend with the Tomahawks being in Lebanon, it was happening again. And I know us as a group of parents got together, and we had a little headgear party and started tightening the headgear up. I think my own son can barely snap his at this point. So, and looked briefly like there was going to be 3, and then it didn't, and now it is. So Shorthill of Portsmouth able to get 3. Now Foss trying to collect 1, but out of bounds we go. And Shorthill we will restart. 57 seconds to go in period number 1. Shorthill of Portsmouth leading Foss of Merrimack 3-0. Waist and ankle there for Shorthill. Got to be careful whenever you're pulling somebody on top of you. Wrestling coaches usually yelling at you, we want pressure forward. You should never really be pulling. Looks like Shorthill's trying to run the half on the left side there. Foss able to kind of clamp down and look away from that. Looks like Shorthill's trying to get legs in. He's trying to run a leg ride situation here. Foss in a danger position. I see referee Rick Ross signaling for near fall points. Now gets back to his belly. Shorthill releases the hold and is awarded the 4 back points. So Shorthill now leads 7-0. 10 seconds to go here in period number 1. Looking to collect more back points here in short time. And looks like Rick Ross is holding 3. So that moves it to 10-0. As we enter the second period, I hear Coach Brian Dine asking Justin Foss to start in neutral. Really looking for Foss to be aggressive, go in there, get the takedown, try to close this 10-0 gap. So head-to-head, heavy on the head here with the hands. Looking to try to get those inside ties.
You don't need to let him touch your hands. You can shoot from the outside. Right there.
Oh, I hear Coach Whistler imploring his wrestler to shoot from the outside. He does that. Foss able to sort of defend it there, and onto the edge we go, where Shorthill is able to get the 3 right on the edge. Again, there's that one of those other new rules that we have to that collegiate out-of-bounds rule, where any part of any wrestler being inside the cylinder, and the action's going to continue so long as there's not a safety risk. If one of the wrestlers, was in danger of being thrown onto the gym floor or something like that, the referees always have discretion to stop those matches, but definitely giving more leeway on the edges. And Short Hill able to take advantage of that. Now leads 13-0 with 1 minute to go in the second period. And looking to get backs. If he's able to secure these back points, and he is, that effectively ends this match in a technical fall and another 5 team points for the Clippers. So I know we've talked about some of this stuff on previous broadcasts, but in addition to the individual match scores, we have the team dual score. So any victory or any match that goes the distance and has a difference of 7 points or less is a regular decision, a 3-point team decision. Between 8 and 14 points is a major decision. Anytime one wrestler gains an advantage of 15 points, the match is stopped and it's declared to be a technical fall, which is a 5-point award. And then we've got wins by fall or pins that result in a 6-point award. And then you've got forfeits that are also 6. So we move to 157 pounds, where we've got Amir Safa for the Tomahawks and Alex Sikora, one of the seniors from the Clippers, that's out there. Amir is a sophomore. Alex Sikora, a senior, as I mentioned, for Portsmouth. Another very, very solid wrestler. I believe he's wrestled all 4 years. I've seen his name, I think, every year. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Alex was actually a Meet of Champions qualifier last year. I think he finished 5th at D2s, so no stranger to postseason competition. So certainly a situation where Amir Safa is going to have his hands full with a big, strong senior wrestler. So doing a good job wrestling here in the phone booth. Little bit of a kind of scramble again there. Looked like Sikora tried to get in on the single. Amir sort of reacted to try to defend it. Lost balance of his own, and Sikora able to secure the 3-point takedown. Leads 3-0, under a minute to go in the first period. Looks like he's collecting the wrists. You can see he kind of reaches under the arms and collects that wrist, and then you'll start to see him bumping that wrestler forward to try to drive the wrists back so that he can bring them behind the body and really exert control.
Oh, yeah.
So you can see he's collected the wrist. He's trying to, Sikora from Portsmouth is really trying to bring that wrist back, either bring it behind the bottom wrestler's body or transition from that lock into potentially a chicken wing or any of those other scoring opportunities. You can see he looks like in this case Sikora is trying to bring it behind Amir's back, and Amir Safa is defending those takedowns. Look like a 2-on-1 here, and you can see that transition where he transitioned into a wing.
Yes. And
I think briefly Rick thought he saw something he didn't see. For a minute I think he was thinking full Nelson, but it was actually double chicken wings. It wasn't behind the neck, it was just within the arm, so he very quickly waved that off. So quick mat return there, and it looks like Sikora did collect the wing, but time expires in period number 1. Interesting. It looks like Sikora is very confident on his ability here to wrestle from the top and score from the top. Rare that you see a wrestler imploring his coaches, let me go to the top, let me go to the top. He was definitely had his finger in the air asking Coach Whistler to make that decision. So Sikora starts on top, trying to exert his dominance here over Amir Safa. Certainly got Amir flattened out. Now trying to, again, work that kind of chicken wing in. Kind of holding him down, making him carry the weight. He's got the half in. Doesn't look like he's necessarily trying to score with that half as much as just control. Amir had a nice little opportunity there where he was able to get his hips separated, but not quite able to move toward an escape. So I think he called an illegal hold on Sikora there. When you pull that chicken wing back, I think he was kind of cranking it away from the body. So when you're going to take the bottom wrestler's arm behind his back, it's okay to take it behind the back, but it has to stay, on or very close to the back. It's when you start to lift that arm away from the back that it puts the stress on the joint, and the referees are going to call a stop to that action.
Yes.
So it looks like Sikora again trying to run the half on the left side. Not sure if that's a means to scoring or if that's simply an effort to try to control the action. I don't see him really using that half for the purpose of getting a turn. Looks like he's just kind of using it to maintain control here and look for another opportunity to score. Safa with a nice explosion there, able to get hip separation, gets the hip heist, but not able to entirely separate, and then a little bulldog throw for Sikora, and he's able to get the fall for the Clippers, who now move ahead. I've got it as 35-17 as we move to 165 pounds.
And both benches just lit up after that explosion out, and then just kind of a quick fall after that, unfortunately.
So I don't think Merrimack's going to send a wrestler at 165. This looks like senior Cullen Dennett for the Clippers, who's going to collect a forfeit win, push the score to 41-17 in favor of the Clippers. And we move to 175 pounds, where I believe we're going to see, yep, here he comes. We've got, sorry, lost my train of thought. We've got Carter Anderson, sophomore Carter Anderson, for the Tomahawks, and I believe this is Emmanuel Manu Pupon from the Portsmouth Clippers. Manu Pupon is a freshman. As best I could tell, looking at his track wrestling profile, looks like he's a fairly recent addition to the lineup for the Clippers. You see Anderson in quickly on a takedown, leads 3-0. Looks like Pupon did enough in the room for the Clippers to kind of elevate himself into the varsity lineup. But he's in a big weight, 100 and 175 pounds. Weight class for a freshman is a tall task. And he's in there with another young wrestler, certainly, Carter Anderson. But Carter's got a full year of varsity experience last year. Carter's a big, strong, athletic kid, a football player, multi-sport athlete, and certainly probably coming into this match with a bit of an advantage. But, looks like he's exerting his will there. I see looks like he's got the left arm in that kind of chicken wing position, looking for an opportunity to get the turn. Can't quite tell if he's got the right side. Just really trying to crank Pupon over. And so not an illegal hold there, but just a potentially dangerous situation, which can sometimes happen. So the arm had started to come off, but I think in the judgment of referee Rick Ross, it wasn't anything that was intentional. He wasn't cranking on the arm, trying to put stress on the joint. But for safety purposes, he called a stop to the action, and we restart. Good, solid mat return. The rule says that you've got to return them safely, but it does not say you necessarily have to return them gently. And so, looks like a little maybe far side cradle. Not exactly sure what Carter's looking for here. I think he's got the right arm. Is it a power half? He may have a power half locked up. I can't really see it well from my angle here. He's certainly working hard on top, looking for an opportunity to get a turn. And the first period comes to an end with Carter Anderson of the Tomahawks leading 3-0 over Manu Pupon of the Clippers. And Portsmouth has chosen to go neutral. Looks like Anderson's got It's kind of a hybrid Russian he had there for a second. Now kind of working toward a body lock and a trip. Looks like he's able to collect it and step over, potentially back points here. Ooh. If he could take the left arm and transition to a half, I think he's going to be in a good spot. Looks like he's done that. He's able to lift that near leg. I see referee Rick Ross counting back points.
Wow.
And able to collect the fall is Carter Anderson of your Tomahawks. So that tightens things up. Believe that brings our duel score now to 41-23 in favor of the Clippers. And we will move to 190 pounds, where I see the Tomahawks are sending out Avery Lantain. And this looks like Zach LaValle for the Portsmouth Clippers. Looks like Zach weighed in at 190 on the nose tonight during weigh-ins. Avery Lantain a little lighter than that, weighing in at 178 pounds. Avery has made his way into the varsity lineup for the Tomahawks, I think probably for about the last month. He's been out there pretty consistently as the varsity 190-pounder. Maybe still learning the finer points of some of the technique, but another, kind of big, tall, strong kid, able to collect and escape there at a minute 30 of the first period. LaValle from Portsmouth leads 3-1. Both wrestlers standing a little tall. I hear Coach Whistler from Portsmouth imploring his wrestler to look at that right leg. He's giving it to you. That's what happens sometimes with these bigger, taller wrestlers. It's, for whatever reason, it's a little more difficult to. Looks like the headgear was kind of torn off.
Totally disintegrated.
It looks like the chin strap. The chin straps on that particular style of headgear actually have buttons on both sides. So if you were to kind of get a finger snaked in there, it's not crazy for that whole thing to kind of come unsnapped on both sides. So the other type, which is Velcro, is much more likely just to end up in a broken finger or turning it into a necklace.
Yikes.
So heavy hand fighting here, heavy on the head. Looks like Lantain trying to get into a front headlock position, now trying to snap LaValle down to the mat to look for an opportunity to score. LaValle able to get in on a leg. Lantain's got to get his hips down and fight this takedown off. Looks like he's maybe trying a head and arm throw here, but it's very loose. Lantain needs to stuff the head here and circle behind if he's going to score. Looks like, again, he's kind of trying to snap him down. He's got to circle, especially as we get close to the edge. He's got to spin behind. He's got to stuff the head and spin behind, and he's not able to do it as the horn blows. Again, these are the small technical things that these young wrestlers are trying to figure out. Avery able to get into a very advantageous position, but not necessarily, he doesn't really have the wrestling experience yet to know what he's supposed to do when he gets there. And so he continues to work through those things. Promising wrestler for the Tomahawks and kind of working his way through learning some of this technique. So we start the second period with LaValle of Portsmouth leading 3-1, and I see the referee indicating a locking hands violation against Lantain. So we'll see how this plays out. So LaValle not able to escape, but he is going to get the technical violation. And this has been a little bit of an issue for Avery. He's been called for locking hands a number of times in the past few duels, and I think to protect him, Coach Dine has told him to go ahead and let LaValle up. Just give the escape so that he can avoid being in a position where he's going to give up those technical violation points. So I think that's a coach knowing his wrestler well and understanding that we've still got some work to do maybe in the practice room, and we're going to try to mitigate those things as best we can here in competition. So again, in an advantageous kind of north-south position here for Lantain. Again, you'd like to see him stuff the head, block the arm, and circle around to get the takedown. Not able to do it, and back to neutral we go. Again into that position where we need Lantain to stuff the head and circle behind. And able to get it that time. That's a 3-point takedown. LaValle now still leading 5-4 with Lantain trying to collect back points. Got to be careful. That was another close to locking hand situation. But LaValle able to collect a reversal and get the fall. Lantain's frustrated. But again, young wrestler, still trying to find his way.
Yep.
He will certainly, as a young wrestler, he's probably going to experience that a little bit more. But promising future for him. He's just got to keep working in the practice room, and he'll be just fine. I believe that puts it to 47-23 in favor of the Clippers. I see that was Cooper Selpsum Wilps. Who came out and took a forfeit at 215 pounds to move it to 47-29. And we move to what I believe should be our final bout of the night at 285 pounds, where I see Tyler Hansberry for the Tomahawks. And I'm not sure if this is Sherburne or Cook. For the Clippers. Either way, Portsmouth wrestler in quickly on a takedown and now looking to run that half. Hansberry trying to clamp down and look away, but in trouble on his back here. Trying to limp arm and kind of come through, get back to his belly. Not able to do so. Portsmouth collects another fall. And I believe that's going to conclude our duel. And it is a 53-29 win for the visiting Portsmouth Clippers on senior night.
Are we having a bonus match here?
Yeah, I think this is going to be a bonus match. I think both teams, I think the Tomahawks sent out Leanie Haddad at 106, and the Clippers responded by sending their normal 106, Luke Polizzo, out at 113. That was strategy. That was just to be able to exchange 6-point forfeits. And now I think we're going to see just a bonus match. We're just going to see a bonus match here between those two wrestlers. So,
all right.
I think Polizzo is the normal 106-pounder for the Clippers. I see referee Rick Ross hamming it up for the camera there for a second, waving. That's exactly what he's giving me the nod. That's what he was doing.
A little bit.
So bonus match for us here. Nice to see Leanie Haddad getting a match on senior night.
Yeah,
able
that's
to
great.
Get in and get a takedown, and leads 3-0 over Luke Polizzo. So this is a bonus match tonight, but for all intents and purposes, this is a varsity match. Leanie is our varsity wrestler at 106 pounds. Luke is the varsity wrestler at 106 pounds for Portsmouth. He just came out at 113 tonight as a strategic kind of move by Coach Whistler. So certainly maybe a bonus match or a JV or an exhibition, whatever you want to call it. But for all intents and purposes, this is a varsity 106-pound match. So Leanie Haddad's got to be able to kind of pull the right wrist in and really crank that half over. Now she's getting there. If she could kind of just circle, she doesn't want to push here. You really want her to circle to Polizzo's head. She's got to take a couple of big steps to her left. Now she's starting to kind of angle off. You kind of want to blade your body and kind of circle to the other wrestler's head. Now she's done that. And looks like she collected 4 near fall points. So now leads 7-0. Kind of moving, looks like almost to a little bit of a cross-body ride here. I think she was attempting to go for a far side cradle there, but was not able to collect the head. Polizzo looking to escape here. I see him stuffing the head of Haddad, but she's not giving it up yet. She's doing a great job of kind of hooking that right leg behind Polizzo to not give up this escape.
Yeah, she's staying very aggressive here.
Referee Rick Ross concerned about the knee of Polizzo, so he's going to whistle that thing dead for potentially dangerous. Not an illegal hold, just didn't like the way the joint looked, so he's going to kind of take a little precaution. And I see Haddad. Excellent. I see something tonight that I haven't seen in the future. I don't know if you see it, Justin, but up in the bleachers here, I think that's Leanie Haddad's family who's here for senior night with banners.
Yes.
Holding up signs.
Close up here.
This is great to see.
Leanie came here to attack. She will pin you on your back.
There you go.
I see there's another one up there, but I'm going to show the action here.
So, looks like we started the second period with Luke Polizzo of Portsmouth on top. Leanie Haddad able to get her hips free and step over for the reversal. Now leads 9-0. She's got to run that half. Now she's in deep on that half and is able to get the turn. If she can get her eyes up, if she can get her head up toward the lights and push the chest down, she can get the fall, and she does. So really nice to see Senior collecting a win on senior night. And that will conclude tonight's action.
You see, he put the sign down, unfortunately, but
great night for us here, Justin. I think our final broadcast of this season, but nice to see.
I think we have another one next month, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you're
I think that
around
duel,
or did it get moved?
I think that duel got canceled.
Oh, bummer.
I think that last duel, which was supposed to be against Kingswood, actually got moved and was wrestled this past Monday night. So,
oh, you're kidding me. Okay.
We'll have to make sure that we've got the schedule right. I think this is going to be the last one. So, just want to say thank you for the opportunity to call the broadcast and for everybody that's tuned in for the duels that we've been able to televise this year. Appreciate the opportunity to do it. I know the kids like to see themselves on TV, and I appreciate all the support from Merrimack TV.
Yeah, Aaron, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you call these matches for us. Just an excellent job, and we will definitely look forward to having you next season as well. I want to thank Grace LeMay back at the studio, hopefully able to run a few replays before both of those other meetings get started. Got Nick LaValle in the studio now waiting for me to finish my yapping and get us wrapped up here. So I want to thank him as well. And I want to thank you for watching Merrimack TV, your community, your voice.